Hi, this is Dr. Go, and this is our third video in our 5-video series on double stops. Today, thirds, okay? Of the thirds, we're going to cover 6 topics today. Now, like any of these videos, I'm not covering every topic that is possible in intervals and double stops. Just some really important ones that I feel are good to start a discussion on. These 6 topics: number 1, bottom voice up or top voice down. Number 2, finding the fourth in between. Number 3, solving the minor third stretch. Number 4, sensing the interval movement of the top or bottom voice and adjusting finger relation. Number 5, connecting the thirds. And number 6, vibrato considerations. Okay, without further ado, let's start with number 1, bottom up or top down. So, depending on your teacher, most schools of violin playing start the teaching thirds from the bottom up, like, and so on and so forth. Okay? Sometimes I find some students benefit occasionally from practicing top down. Okay, sometimes. Now, different schools of thought, different approaches. I've seen them all work depending on the student and the teacher and their chemistry. Okay, now something that needs to be said is that practicing broken thirds and so on and so forth, it does, it does help to shape the hand and prepare the hand for the third double stop thirds coming ahead. So that's always a good thing to practice before you get into double stop thirds. Just a little tangent there. Now, number 2, the fourth in between. I was taught this by one of my professors, and honestly, it has helped myself, my students, and a lot of my colleagues as well. The fourth in between. So let's say you have, okay, G to B and A, C, okay? The fourth in between is, let's see, the first third is G, D, second one is A, C. The fourth in between is between the G and the C. Okay, so the way we find this is find the first third, then on the top voice go B to C and check the C versus your existing G. If you hear it out of tune, okay, that means you missed. Somewhere you missed, okay? So now, B to C. And the important thing, the important internal process is, as you're going from B to C, okay, make sure before you play the C, you're singing in your head the tones of the B going to the C. I'm hearing the C in my head. Now, if you sing it perfectly and you still end up with something horrible like that, okay, that means more than likely your B was already out of tune. Okay, so you go back to forming your and making sure that's all in tune first. Okay, and looking back at the first topic, that's where sometimes aiming from the top down, sometimes it's helpful to really nail down that first third. Okay, so the fourth in between. Once you have the fourth in between, then we add the next note. And yeah, going from G to A. Okay, and then I find it helps to walk things down. So A to G, C to B. Walk back up. B to C, G to A. Okay, and then to drill between. important, a relaxed hold, by the way, so that you can really listen to the interval. Yeah, instead of, yeah, then it's so fast, it's tough to really let the sound settle and really listen to the interval that you're playing, you're producing at that time. Okay, just little tips here and there. Number 3, solving the minor third stretch. A lot of students, they come with a really tight hand, and it's not their fault. Violin, it looks small, and so you think, you know, whatever your hand is, no matter how tight it is, you can easily play everything on the violin. That's not always true. Okay, so the minor third stretch, this is something, this technique of getting this, achieving this, is something we'll also cover later on the next video when we cover figured octaves and tenths. Okay, so minor third. A lot of students and they just can't get that fourth finger. They just can't get it up there. Okay, so one thing that helps a lot of students, help me, okay, is after this, find a C. Okay, lift up the third finger. Okay, and then try to stretch the fourth. Okay, now for some people that still doesn't work. They still can't reach. Then we just get the first finger. Then I have them, okay, relax the whole hand, all the major joints as much as possible, and try to reach their fourth finger as high as they'll go. Okay, and just try to reach as high as they can. Okay, and that starts stretching everything back here. Okay, now after that, once they do that, have them hold the 1 in place, do a natural stretch as high as they can. Okay, and then relax everything and put the second finger next to the first. This is what it looks like. Reach up. Now I'm going to relax everything and put my second finger next to my first. Really feel it touch them. And I'm actually out of tune. My A is a little bit too high. Okay? So a lot of students, when you teach them this, they have the same mistake. The A is too high. The stretch was too big. Before that, they couldn't even make the stretch in the beginning. They were always flat. Now the A is going to be sharp because now they're opening up the hand. Okay, so that's something that helps a lot of students. It doesn't work for everybody. Mind you, it does not work for everybody, but it's something that works for a lot of people and it's worth, investigating. Number 4, sensing the interval movement of the top or bottom voice and adjusting finger relation. So, let's go to the same 2/3 we've been playing so far. Okay, let's see we're shifting. As you can see, the A string voice is only moving a semitone or a half step. The D string voice is moving a whole tone or whole step. So I have to sense that if I'm going to shift, I have to make sure that my finger covering the D string, which is my third finger, travels farther than my first finger, because my first finger is only going to move a semitone. It's just a tiny little stretch, but the D string has to move much farther. Okay, so in practicing that, it's important, that you realize that difference, and as you shift, you make that adjustment. Now, we always need some sort of anchor. You can't just, go flailing around the fingerboard. Something that really helps is focus on the finger that's moving the least distance. In this case, it's the first finger. Okay, it's only moving a semitone. So, I'm focusing my attention on, and as I do that, I'm opening up the second knuckle of my third finger to push that up. I'm pushing that up. Okay, so my ears, my attention, my physical concentration is on the first finger to make sure that the hand The whole hand frame to my elbow is only moving that semitone. My third finger, on the other hand, is independently going a little farther. And then from there, I can adjust the third finger. And the more advanced application after that is you play both fingers, both voices, sorry, and you listen to them slowly. Okay, so that's something else that helps. Okay, an important discussion again. I'm not going very deep into this, just laying out some ideas of things to investigate. Number 5, connecting thirds. So when we have like a third pattern, how do we connect it? Some people, there are many fingering choices. Let's say I'm doing that, but some people, okay, there are many different fingering choices, but how do we connect them? Okay, let's take the first fingering I did. Again, it's the same thing we discussed in the 6th, okay? The connecting and the octaves as well. If you have an open string, sit on it. Now I can free to shift. Free to shift. Yeah, so that's easy to connect. Okay, now this one, let's see it. This is more involved, okay? And that involves, simply put, when you shift, reduce the finger pressure. Yeah? Okay? If you don't reduce the finger pressure, you get what I just got just now. You hear that slide? Okay? Yeah, it's easy to hear, but it's also easy for the audience to hear. Okay? We want to make this clean, but we want to connect. Okay? And so, one other idea, okay, which helps a lot, is again the same thing of string selection. So the finger that moves the least, keep the bow on that string. In this case, we're going to have a parallel movement. No choice, you have to release. Sorry, this one actually we don't have parallel. I can sit on the E string. Yeah, so you concentrate on the voice that is moving the least. Yeah, and it connects everything very easily. I'm sorry I'm not playing very well today, okay? But no excuse for this. I just did not practice properly the last few days. But still, the idea of connecting that through the smallest interval, this is something that it really helps connect our long phrases. Yeah? Okay? Now, number 6, vibrato considerations. Thirds are not a giant interval. Even, okay, not giant intervals. It's very, very, very basic and easy to do vibrato through all of them, okay? Important things to consider, okay? You gotta have loose knuckles. That first knuckle of every finger needs to be loose. Tight knuckles makes vibrato, actually makes playing the violin difficult. And it's also not the best for tone production. Yeah, you get a kind of a brittle sound. So keeping that flexible really is in your best interest to make not only for a good sound, but also freedom. So you can do as you wish. If you want vibrato, you should be able to do it. If you don't want vibrato, you should be able to stop it. Okay? It's all up to you. Yeah? But just consideration, try to work on really a loose first knuckle. Whether you use wrist or arm vibrato, I've heard people do great with both on thirds. So I don't see it as, an issue of one is better than the other. Okay? Different student, different teacher, different school of violin playing. If they all work. Yeah? So, important thing is that freedom of that first knuckle. Okay? Well, those are our 6 topics on Thursday. I hope I've given some ideas on things to discuss, investigate, look into, deeper investigations with your teacher, with discussions with your colleagues, your, other students and such, to really, demystify thirds. Okay? That being said, wish you all the best on your journey on this wonderful instrument. Cheers.